I'm always looking to discover new locations for my wildlife photography. New adventures, new people, new wildlife. But when a friend suggested a place I hardly knew anything about, I thought going there was a risk. What would I find? Would there be interesting things to see? Would the animal kingdom there be generous and wild? My expectations were low. I love being wrong. I may as well just come out and say it, and I've never said this before. I'm in the best wildlife photography location I've ever been in. Where am I? I'm in Zambia. Why am I here in Zambia? There are only two things I knew about Zambia and wildlife photography. One was that they were known for elephants eating the branches of tall trees they had there, and that they're known for leopards. But would this be what I actually found there? I certainly love photographing leopards and would love to get more photos of them. But I'm right here after leading a safari workshop in neighboring Botswana, and I'm scouting out locations for future workshops. This region was recommended by a friend who I trust, especially for leopards, so I'm here to see if it's good enough to return to and can deliver on the promise. My first stop was South Luangwa. While I was here, I stayed at the Shikanto Lodge. This place is great, the food is amazing, and the wildlife is close. I heard the lions roaring last night, and the hippos kept me up for part of the night as well. It's not a problem for being here. This is a feature. The rooms are generously appointed, very luxurious, and the main lodge area looks great, including with its pool. My guide Benjamin was awesome, and we had a great time exploring the park for wildlife. The ubiquitous antelope species that's everywhere here is the puku. I had some amazing sightings while here. I had several lion sightings, and watching the vultures gather for a meal was fun to watch. We also saw this injured male lion, perhaps hurt taking down the buffalo that the rest of the pride was feasting on. While the lionesses usually do most of the hunting, the males may join in on larger prey. We also saw leopards, but sometimes you find them resting in the shade under deep bushes, and all you get are peeks through a hole in the undergrowth. Giraffes, hyenas, jackals, and several cool bird species were also about, adding to the diversity of sightings I got to experience. One of the neatest things I got to see there were giraffes crossing the river. An amazing sight here on the river. We've got over a dozen giraffes all grouped together. They're making sure there are no crocodiles in the water and that it's safe to cross, but having them all put together makes for wonderful video footage and amazing photos. Then a short flight to my next stop. My next location was the Lower Zambzi, where I stayed at Kutali, a camp run by Classic Zambia. This is a seasonal camp which is taken down for the rainy season, where everything just becomes wet and messy. A huge bathroom where you're actually outside, but we have modern sink, running water, a flush toilet, and bucket shower where you just let staff know whether or not you want hot or cold, and they will prep that up for you. At night, you're serenaded by hippos in the river, and I even found leopard tracks outside my tent one morning. Hey everybody, there is an elephant outside my tent. He's right there. I guess the action is close up here. I had the pleasure of being guided by none other than one of the owners, Kyle, who revealed his experience by knowing how to position our vehicle to get the amazing lighting scenarios that this region offers. This is probably the most photogenic place I've ever photographed wildlife in. Why? The Lower Zambzi is an amazing scene. There's plenty of wildlife about, but what makes this so good for wildlife photos is the setup. Picture this, tall winterthorn trees as far as the eye can see, with clean undergrowth so you can actually see kilometers into the distance. Combine that with dust in the air and amazing sunrises and sunsets, and you get all kinds of tricks with light. Backlighting, dappled light, and silhouettes everywhere. For a guy who likes taking photos in unique lighting, I was in heaven. A safari schedule in Zambia starts early with an escort to the main lodge for breakfast. Given there are wild animals about, you don't walk alone in the dark. After a morning coffee and a bite, we leave in the dark to go on location for sunrise. Driving the roads in the early morning is a good way to find big cats. They like using the roads during the night, leaving tracks for my skilled guides, which we can use to find out where they're more likely to be seen. When the sun comes up, being on location in advance allows us to get into position for the best light and neat lighting tricks like warm light, backlight, and side light. A photographer's dream. You know, as much as I love coming to Zambia for wildlife photography, on a 3-week trip, I have to work while I'm here. So it's not just pretty pictures. I actually have to get in touch with my bank, suppliers, companies, check my email, do online banking. And do you know what worries me when I do that on the road? Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi in hotels and airports. I'm really concerned about security and my information when I'm on the web in places that I don't know. And do you know what I use when I'm on the road? I use NordVPN to protect my security. You can become safer online with a single click. Wi-Fi networks, especially in public places, can be compromised by criminals to steal your information. The bad guys quietly slip in between you and your final destination and steal your data. You may click on what you think is hotel Wi-Fi, but it might be someone else's private Wi-Fi they set up to steal your personal information. This is called a man-in-the-middle attack. On top of that, NordVPN offers scam detection and phishing detection too. So I use NordVPN and you should give it a try too. Get 4 months extra on a 2-year plan right here. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. So on your next trip, when you're traveling with your devices, use NordVPN to make sure your personal data is protected. One of the best parts of the high canopy of winter thorn trees is the dappled light it creates, making for great photo opportunities. Even in the midday sun, you can get great shots like having the subject in the shade, background in the sun, one of my favorite effects. After a midday siesta, it's time to go out again for our evening game drive. Evenings are great with sunset and dust that builds up during the day. The classic shot of the Lower Zambzi region is an elephant reaching up to eat the lower leaves of the winter thorn trees and their seed pods, which they love. So Khan and I here are watching an elephant, and this is the classic behavior you're really looking to photograph here in Lower Zambzi is the elephants reaching up to get the lowest branches that are available on this winter thorn, which is a very popular tree here. I've already made plans to return with a workshop in 2027. You can sign up for notifications for my upcoming tours at the link in the description below. The evening drives are my favorites. The light is ethereal and dusty, making even the commonest sightings magical. My saying is, if you can't find uncommon subjects, take uncommon photos of the common ones. In this case, if all we saw were baboons, impalas, and waterbuck, which are everywhere by the way, I'd still come home with tons of great images due to the amazing lighting they have there. Also, the cats get more active again late in the day when the temperature cools down, so evening is a great time to get amazing big cat sightings. Then it's the drive home. You can opt for a night drive on the way home if you like, with a chance to see nocturnal species that you will rarely see during the day. We even found a leopard prowling about and got to observe its behavior using a night vision device that sees in the dark without illuminating the scene. Cool. I started wildlife photography shooting birds and still have a soft spot for them while in Africa. These ground hornbills are an endangered species even if they live to 45 years old, and it was great to see them displaying and eating insects they found in the grass. When we are lucky enough to find predators, it's usually a good time to find other animals nearby, especially the scavengers. Hyenas and vultures are always on the lookout for an easy meal, so near big cat kills is often where you can find them. And finally, did I get my leopards? They can be super hard to find, but both my locations in Zambia, South Luangwa, and the Lower Zambzi are well known for leopards. Getting to see this one skulking around at sunset was especially photogenic. The real stroke of luck for me was seeing this female eating an impala it had pulled up a tree. Amazing. Got really low light, but this leopard up here is eating an impala up a tree. Got a beautiful green background behind it, which makes for great footage and great photos. It's just amazing to see an animal in its natural environment doing what it does to survive. So this is just a beautiful scene for my last morning here in Zambia. And as a testament to the amazing photography that you can get there, on my very last night, the lighting we saw was just awe-inspiring and led to some of my favorite photos and video footage. Oh, this is the most beautiful thing ever. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, my friend, this is what we wanted.